Imagine this for a second. Turning a single $10,000 investment into an absolute life-changing fortune. I know, it sounds like a complete fairy tale, right? But what if I told you there's a map, a philosophy for finding investments that can actually do just that?
See this? This isn't just a number on a screen. It's a destination. It's what one single, smart, and patiently held investment could become. The real question, of course, is... The answer isn't some crazy complex algorithm or a secret only Wall Street knows. It actually lies in a really powerful and, surprisingly simple investment philosophy that anyone, and I really mean anyone, can learn to follow. Okay, let's get into it. So that map I mentioned, it comes from a modern classic that has totally energized investors for years. Welcome to The Explainer. In today's book talk, we are going on a quest. We're unpacking Christopher Mayer's 100 Baggers. This book lays out the core principles for finding stocks that return $100 for every single dollar you invest. We're not just talking about regular stocks here. We're talking about 100 baggers, and these things have the power to fundamentally transform your financial future.
All right, so our quest begins with understanding what this legendary prize, 100 bagger, really is. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean for us as investors?
The term itself was first coined way back in 1972 by an investor named Thomas Phelps. And let's be really clear about something. This is not some get-rich-quick scheme. No way. This is a long-term quest. It's a marathon of compounding your capital by finding and then holding on to truly extraordinary businesses. This chart right here makes it so clear what the two key ingredients are. First, you need a high rate of return, and second, you need time, and lots of it. I mean, to get a 100x return, you have to have the patience to let the incredible power of compounding do its thing over many, many years. This is not a sprint, it's a multi-decade marathon.
So, if these amazing opportunities are out there, why do so few investors ever actually capture them? Well, the biggest obstacle on this whole quest, it isn't the market, it isn't the economy, it's the person looking back at us in the mirror.
We are just hardwired for action, right? The news, Wall Street, our own gut feelings, they're all screaming at us to do something. And this leads to one of the biggest mistakes an investor can make, selling a great business way too early. Just look at this story about investor Carl Pettit. He missed out on billions in future gains from IBM. Billions! And then you've got the other side of that coin, just pure fear. I mean, even the greatest stocks of all time, like Berkshire Hathaway, they go through these terrifying drops. Panicking during these downturns, which are going to happen, by the way, is the fastest way to get kicked off the path to 100-bagger glory. You absolutely have to be able to endure the ride.
Okay, so how do we fight our own worst instincts? How do we find the discipline to just hold on? Well, our quest gives us a simple but unbelievably powerful secret weapon.
This idea is great. It comes from the Old West. People would take their gold, their jewels, their most valuable stuff, stick it in a coffee can, and hide it away. So for investing, it means you pick your absolute best long-term ideas and you commit to not touching them, basically protecting them from your own emotional reactions. The whole strategy breaks down into this simple three-step discipline. First, you do your homework. You find fantastic businesses that have a long way to grow. Second, you put them in your metaphorical coffee can. And then, here comes the hardest part of all. You leave them alone for at least a decade. You let the power of compounding work its magic, totally undisturbed. All right, now that we have our weapon against impatience and fear, let's start looking for the actual clues on our treasure map. What are the key things we should be looking for in these potential 100 baggers? The book talks about what it calls the twin engines of 100 baggers, and this is really the secret sauce. The most explosive returns, they're not driven by just one thing. They're driven by two powerful forces working together. First, you have massive growth in the company's actual earnings. And second, you have growth in the multiple, which is just the price other investors are willing to pay for those earnings. When the market gets more and more excited about a company, that multiple expands, and it just pours gasoline on the fire. This is where the magic really happens. Take a look at MTY Foods. From 2003 to 2013, its earnings per share grew by over 12 times. Okay, that's engine one. But the stock price grew by 100 times. 100! How is that even possible? Well, look at the PE ratio. It exploded, expanding by more than 7 times as the market finally recognized how great this company was. When those two engines work together, boom, you get a life-changing return. So beyond the twin engines, our map points to a few other really critical clues. We want companies with a strong economic moat. You can think of it like a castle moat, a durable competitive advantage that protects it from rivals. We also want smaller companies because they just have a longer runway to grow. And ideally, we want a passionate owner-operator running the company, a founder or a leader who has a huge amount of their own money invested right alongside us. So we've got the map and we've got our secret weapon. But even with all the right tools, this quest can still fail. And this final lesson, it's the most crucial one. You have to have the mental toughness to hold on through what is definitely going to be a very, very bumpy ride. I mean, just look at this. Monster Beverage was a spectacular 700 bagger. 700! But the ride to get there was anything but smooth. It had these sickening monthly drops of 30% or more. This just proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the path to enormous wealth is never, ever a straight line. You have to be willing to stomach the volatility. It all kind of boils down to this fantastic quote from the investor Martin Whitman, who put it, well, very bluntly, you make more money sitting on your ass. After you've done all the hard work of buying the right business, the single most profitable action you can take is often no action at all. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? The principles of 100 baggers, they offer you a map, not a guarantee. The treasure is absolutely out there. But the real question isn't just, can you find one? It's, do you have the discipline and the patience to actually hold on to one? Thanks for joining this explainer. If you're ready to keep going on this journey, make sure you subscribe for more book talks that can help guide you along the way.